Hi, I'm going to show you how to make a slab. I'm going to show you 3 ways to make a slab out of clay. So here we go. First of all, as always, make sure that your clay is wedged really well. Well wedged. Anyway, here's my big wedged ball of clay, and before I do anything, I'm going to flatten it out. It just makes it a lot easier when you use a rolling pin to flatten the clay out first. And then I have my rolling pin, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the center and start pushing outward from the center and then pulling towards me. I'm being careful not to roll down the edge like that. I want to keep my edges thicker like that. And then every once in a while you want to pick up your clay, flip it over. You always start from the center and you pull towards you. And you want to determine what shape you want. If you're going to be making bowls or plates, you want to make your clay round. If you are making cylinder shapes and you want your clay to be longer, then keep it in a rectangular shape. And then to determine how thick your clay is, you want to take a knife. You can cut the edge off. You don't really have to cut that much, but you can determine how thick your edge is like that. So that's rolling with a rolling pin. Now let me show you how to throw a slab. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to throw a slab. Again, make sure your clay is well wedged. You want to start by flattening it out a little bit. You always want to do this, make it the shape you want it to be. And then you're going to pick up the clay like this, put it in the palm of your hand, and fling it sideways like that. In the beginning, it takes a little flinging, and then each time I'm doing it, I'm rotating it 90 degrees. So I went this way, now I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to lead with this edge like this. It's important to make sure your wedging table is well wiped when you do this so you're not bringing up a lot of dust. Then once you have it like that, thrown fairly thin, you can just hit it with the rolling pin a couple times to recompress the walls, because this puts a lot of stress on the walls. And that is how you throw a slab. Hi, okay, now I'm going to show you how to make a slab using the slab roller. First, I want to talk a little bit about the slab roller. There are several parts to it. This is the bed right here, and this is the blanket like this, and this is the roller bar. And you're essentially cranking up the roller bar over your clay to create a flat slab. Now you want to determine how thick you want your slab to be, and so we also have the boards here. There's 2 cloth covered boards, and then we have one that's called a shim, and this gives you some spacing. This is what you need to remember. The more boards you have in there, the thinner your slab is going to be. So if you want a thicker slab, you'll have less boards in there. So I'm going to use 2 cloth covered slabs. Now I also am going to be making 2 shapes with the slab roller. First, I'm just going to show you how to make a long slab that you can use, and then I'll show you how to make a shorter, wider slab. You want to have your clay well wedged. Okay, and you also want to make sure that the edge that's going towards the roller is tapered a little bit. Then you take your blanket and you cover it up like this, and then you roll the wheel. You want to go in the opposite direction. So if I want my wheel to go this way, or my roller to go this way, I crank it this way. And so you do this until you feel like all the resistance is gone, and then you just continue back again. It's important to leave the blanket flat down until you're done rolling. And when you get to the end, you don't need to crank it hard, just stop. And then you have your slab. Now I'm going to show you how to make a wider slab. So if you're making a very wide bowl, you want to take your clay and make it long, and you want to you want to lay it down so it's parallel to the roller. Okay, and then I'm creating that wedge down there like that. When you're making your slab, you're not going to really gain any height at all, so you want to make sure it's as wide as you want it to be. You will get length, but so I want a wider slab to make a bowl, so I'm going to make my log wide and put it down parallel to the roller. And then you just repeat. This clay's a little stiffer, so you can see I'm struggling here. And then go back the other way. Remember, when you get to the end, don't crank it, and keep the blanket flat until you're done. You don't want to roll the blanket around the roller. So now I have a nice, big, wide slab that I can use for a bowl or something like that. There's some maintenance that you need to do with the slab roller. So if the person before you used it and left the clay on here, it's kind of wet, one of the things you could do is take the scraper and remove the excess wet clay from it. The other thing you can do, if the slab roller itself, if the board is too wet, you can actually switch it and put the other cloth board on top. So you just slide that out, and then you put it in on top, and then you have a dry surface for that.